Previously on Sugar, Spice, and Everything Chaos.
So I can't believe we got here from there. But yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, so I think the basic mantra I would say for the whole dieting concept is that first, I think it has to be, we have to, think beyond what is right and what is wrong. It's not like, okay, we should stop following these trends, which are saying, every reel just says egg is bad, milk is bad, everything that exists in this world is bad. But I think there are three things that I really want to.
There's a trend before you say that. There's a trend, right? Intermittent fasting. Right now,
Intermittent
where
fasting.
from like diets, now we've gone on to stop eating. It's good for you.
Yeah.
Go
I mean,
ahead.
starving, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it is all bad or good. I'm not taking a stand, but I think the
Yeah.
balance and the way that we do it, right? So that's why I think the first thing I really want all of us to take it forward is the mindset. It's that it starts with how you're going to approach your food, why you do the way you do. Are you going to diet because you want to, like, put yourself in that, punishment where you are like, you don't deserve food because you're fat, you're ugly? Is this a kind of, mindset and voice you're giving? Then your body is not going to observe it at all. It's going to work on a stress mechanism, and it's gonna work in a very flight or fight response. I'm not sure if any of you understand. That's basically like your brain's way of fighting that, thinking there's a danger around you. So you basically live like you're in danger. So I think that mindset is something that we have to work on. The second thing I would say is intentional choices. So these mindset, okay, what kind of a person I want to be, what kind of a food I want to fuel for my body so I can be my best self as a mother, as a person, as a career woman, as a living being, whatever it is. How can me I be happier and more peaceful with my body, like you said, that be able to exist within my body. So that we make the second intentional choices, the choices that we make, like maybe going to the gym maybe twice a day, or twice a week, sorry, thrice a week, whatever fits your this one. But again, it all comes down to your priorities, right? If you think taking care of the family is a priority, then you are not doing anything much for yourself, then you are like working on like drained battery, right? So then you have to say that no, this is not my priority, taking care of myself is priority. Then I can do a better job as a mother or a professional woman or a wife or a, friend or whatever it is. You can do that eventually. And the third is your physical state. Of course, you have to take into consideration your age, the level of activity you are currently doing. So you cannot like start with, okay, tomorrow everybody's around me is running, so I'm also going to run. Everybody around me is going to the gym, I'm also going to go to the gym. It doesn't work like that. It has to work in such a way that you understand what you can do and you make a plan that you are being nicer to your body, so you move to the next level, right? So I think that's something that I really want everyone to think about and apply in their life. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts to add on?
I feel like what you're saying is a lot to ask from women who've not been, uh, you know, consistent with self-reflection.
Hmm.
There's a lot of self-awareness that one requires to be able to do what you just suggested, where I sit with my thoughts, I sit with my feelings, I understand what I need, I understand what my priorities are. I think for a lot of women, right, at least with the way that again society works, there's no personal responsibility here because I mean, as much as we can think for ourselves, it's easier to go with the crowd, right? It's easier to have like a herd mentality. So I think for most women here, the priority of family, the priority of children is not even their choice. It feels so wrong to say I don't want children. It feels so wrong to say I don't feel like taking care of my children. Feels wrong to say I want to go out. I just want to be alone for a little bit. Because every single time that they want to do something for themselves, they are labeled as selfish. They are labeled as all sorts of names.
Yeah, kind
right?
of evil, I
Y-
think. I was working with
exactly.
this hospital, and there's like a lot of women who come with postpartum, right? And they clearly tell me, with so much of guilt, they tell me, I don't like my children. I just gave birth. I don't like to take care of them. I don't want that. But I feel so guilty. I feel like a bad person. But I think they need to understand this. It has to all come from your personal choice, right? Nothing was, you didn't choose to do this. You are being forced into it. You are
Exactly.
not just forced into it, you're also forced to like it and love it now. How can you?
How does that work?
Yeah.
Yeah. The choices that you speak of, a lot of women don't have it. And so it makes sense that women complain a lot. It makes sense that women have a lot more symptoms. A simple thing like, not having the autonomy to go out when you want to, not having the autonomy to have privacy in your own home, not have the autonomy to speak your thoughts, not have the autonomy to cry. Because we're talking about physical health, I know a lot of women who work out in secret because they don't want their families to know, which is a very sad thing. As much as we talk about how physical health is good for women, physical, like, working out is good for women, these are the same women uh, who want to change, but then they're not able to because they're gonna get a few comments from, their loved ones, so-called loved ones, and it's gonna just put them in that fight or flight mode where they're gonna continue just going on that self-sabotaging path where it's easier to hate yourself than to be doing something that's so selfish.
And also some women have come to, I don't know, it's become in their mind that this is something that they chose. They are made to think that it's this something they chose. And I think that is also very problematic, because when I ask them, if you don't want it, why you're doing it? No, no, this is right. This is what I want. I only chose to get married. I only chose to have children. I only did this. They take
Yeah,
responsibility for accountability for the things that, that is worrying them, because they feel that if they don't, then it scares them even more. What if all this is something that I didn't want? It's something that they never want to think about at all.
it's easier to be in denial, no?
Hmm. But I feel kind of, truly, I feel very, very bad right now.
As much as we want women to love themselves, I think one small thing we can do as like an act of, I don't know, radical, I don't know what you call this, but like loving women just to kind of have like a better, healthier society, is to kind of be easy on ourselves. This is something that I read in one book that I'm reading currently. It spoke about how to be loved, the first thing you need to do is to stop judging others. And the reason it said that is when you stop judging others, let's say there comes a time when you have to do it yourself, right? It's easier for you to do something new because you're not judging. You didn't judge anyone else for doing that before. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah,
Like a small
so
thing
you
like
basically won't judge yourself as well.
exactly, exactly. So if I've never worn makeup, right? And I'm seeing like a beautiful woman wearing makeup, and I'm like, oh, why is she wearing makeup? She could just be so natural. Why makeup? Right? Now let's say 2 years into the future, I'm suddenly into like lipsticks and stuff, and I'm trying on lipsticks. It's gonna be
You remember
hell for
that.
me.
Yeah, you're gonna remember that voice where you judged that woman,
Exactly,
and
exactly.
you're
So you
gonna be
gotta
like,
and
people are gonna judge
judging
me.
yourself. Yeah. So whenever someone says fear of judgment, especially women, the fear of judgment is not the fear of judgment of others, it's the fear of judgment of the self.
Mm. Yeah.
So women, if you've judged others for dieting, if you judged others for working out, if you've judged other women for being selfish, forgive yourself.
And here,
Easier
I
said
really
than
want to
done.
correct, selfish means really it's about taking care of yourself, standing up for your choices, loving yourself. It's not a bad word. Selfish is not a bad word.
It is not. Um, I think we associate selfish with someone who is, in that sort of mindset where they care about themselves. But I think we need to kind of look at it as someone who cares about themselves to nourish or to reciprocate your love in return.
See, I
If
think why
I,
one thing
yeah,
I really want the women to around the globe to think about is I think the only way to get to those, you, all the women who think selfish is a bad thing, is by telling you, remember all your children, all your family members, all your future children, future generation is watching you. And they're going to learn the same thing you are doing. And they're going to learn to love themselves less, become somebody who's bitter, and they're going to raise another generation. Like if we've seen, for example, my mother, who she used to serve hot food first to our family after cooking, and then she used to eat the leftovers or whatever is from the morning that is leftover, right? So as a girl, when I was looking at it, seeing my mother do, it's natural for me to do it for my own family, right? But why, as a woman, I am also an equal person to them, everyone else, but I don't love myself, I don't take care of myself, I give lesser food, lesser nutrition when I'm the one who's doing all the work, right? So I think I want all of you to remember this. You are imparting this into the future generation, and we don't want to create another generation just like this who cannot love themselves.
sounds like our hormones or our womanly problems were never actually something to do with biology, but more so to do with how society has groomed us.
Hmm, I guess so. So
Uh,
I think we are now kind of ready to conclude and leave the listeners with something, I believe.
yeah. So I was thinking we could, with our listeners, we could do something like an oath where we take it forward with action. We speak so much about how food is not really just about, eating carbs or proteins or fat. It's about your mindset as well, right? So, how about the next time you grab something to eat, you don't feel like crap about it. You eat it while, feeling that gratitude, if you will, saying that, okay, this food is going to nourish me. This food is good for me because it's going to energize me. And energy is good. Um, right now, I'm not going to care about the aesthetics of it because it's kind of amazing that I just get to live. And maybe, slowly over time, this would change our collective mindset of I have to look a certain way to be desirable. I have to look a certain way to be accepted. I have to look a certain way to be good enough to, I just have one life. I need to do the things that I want to do. So, how do I store energy better?
Hmm. Yeah, I guess we can do that. What's that one thing that you want to, you know, take an oath for? What do you want to
I
be
think
ready?
for me, yeah, I think for me, this is this year. It's 2026. Uh, this year, it's going to be more about moving more, working on just, small wins where I just build a better relationship with my body. For instance, let's say I am craving chocolate. I'm going to say, oh, body, looks like you're hungry for chocolates. I'm going to give that to you with a lot of love, and that's about it. So maybe making better choices as well. Every time I'm eating processed food, I'm going to be a little bit more mindful of how that's gonna not be great. So replace that with like non-processed food, so more organic in nature. So I treat, this very cheesy saying, treat your body like it's a temple.
Hmm.
So maybe that's gonna be my goal for this year. What about you?
I guess for me, I think before, whenever I get anxious or stressed, I kind of get into this defeating behaviors, such as, even more scrolling or, doing these things, which is very mindless and all the more drains me. I'm going to choose something that's going to be like, okay, you're stressed. Let's see, I'll probably take myself for a walk. and then say how, just say that you're safe, or you're gonna, I'm gonna do some breathing and say that, I'm really glad you told me that something was worrying you, so that we can together work on it. I think that's something that I want to do for 2026. Yay.
Yeah. I think I'm I'm really glad we have this conversation. We had this conversation because I think someone has to, and hopefully we get to a place where it's normal, it's common for us to see women doing things that's good for them, and it's not considered selfish anymore.
So that's it.
That's it.
So if you really liked what we were talking about, if we made you uncomfortable in a very good way and you want to listen more, like our content, follow and subscribe, and also follow us on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. And we'll also give your comments on what we can improve, what you want us to talk about. So yeah.
You also
On
see
the
that
next
women were
episode of
the,
Sugar, Spice, and Everything
wise
Chaos.
leaders, right? You go to women to learn. Like women were, I think even today you see old women still being very useful in society. And if this was the place of women back then, why did they give it up to become weak and fragile? This beauty standard doesn't make sense, right? Why would we give that up? Why would we give that power up for this?